Good morning, everybody. It is Wednesday, February 5th, 2025. I've got all of your news for your rush hour ride to work. On today's Morning Rush, we're going to discuss the Spice Girls reunion, plus Jesse Eisenberg talks about his role playing Mark Zuckerberg, what it has meant for his career, and why he doesn't want to be associated with the tech billionaire. Also, Blake Lively's new movie comes out at South by Southwest. It's got a premiere date. We'll break that down. And Amber Heard's lawyer reacts to the Blake Lively story. I'm also going to share some unique information regarding an experience several people I know had working with Ryan Reynolds on a movie. It's not good for Ryan. And I'm also going to give you all the updates on what the hell is going down in Gaza. It's going to be a lot to digest and talk about, and it is quite disturbing. So we'll have that story. Plus, Canada as the 51st state. Well, Canada seems to disagree, and the Canadian anthem was booed at a hockey game in Nashville. Retaliatory boos. Why? I have no idea, but we'll break that down. So many stories to get into. Stick around. I'm Dave Neal. This is The Rush. If anybody's wondering, when did millennials become old? It's in this moment as Mel C talks about a Spice Girls reunion, says, come on, it's time, because, hold on, brace your aching knees. Wannabe, the song, is approaching its 30th year anniversary. That's right, folks. Oh boy, that hurts to hear. If you want to be my lover, please support me on my bid to go to a Spice Girls show. I've never been to a live Spice Girls show. I'll go. Now, am I going to wait up all day at Ticketmaster refreshing my browser? No, but if someone's like, hey, you want to go to a Spice Girls reunion and I'm free, I'd be like, yeah, I guess so. I guess I'll do that. I don't know. I mean, why not? I had a crush on every single. Who was your favorite? I don't know. Maybe Sporty Spice? That was for me, you know. The sports bra always got me. All right, here we have a clip for you. We'd like to have a little clip from BBC News. This is Jesse Eisenberg. He was nominated for an Oscar for his portrayal of Mark Zuckerberg in the 2010 film The Social Network, and here's what he had. And by the way, I auditioned for that movie. I got a call. Did I get a call back? I didn't get the role. I just found this out 15 years later. Didn't get the part. I was auditioning to play some college frat bro that goes to the Hot or Not website and whatever. Anyway, okay, so no one needs to know my failed auditions. Here it is, Jesse Eisenberg.
I haven't been following his life trajectory, partly because I don't want to think of myself as associated with somebody like that. It's not like I played a great golfer or something and I want to and now people think I'm a great golfer. It's like this guy that's doing kind of doing things that are problematic, taking away, fact checking and safety concerns, making people who are already threatened in this world more threatened.
You're concerned by those actions?
I'm concerned just as a person who reads a newspaper. I don't think about, I played the guy in the movie and therefore it's just I'm a human being and you read these things and these people have billions upon billions of dollars, more money than, any human person has ever amassed. And what are they doing with it? They're doing it to curry favor with somebody who's preaching, hateful things. So to me, that's what I think of. But I think of that not as a person who played in a movie. I think of it as just somebody who's married to a woman who teaches disability justice in New York, and lives for her students are going to get a little harder.
Jeez. I like him. He has good message. Now, listen, I don't have a problem with the fact checking on Facebook. Hold on. After doing my research, I learned that only 1% of posts are even fact checked in the first place, and sometimes they get it wrong. So they have community notes, which is a more democratic way of calling people out on their BS. Again, I don't think any of it's perfect, but I think the bigger issue is that he's worth a hell of a lot of money, and what he does with his platform. There's these sort of tech oligarchs that we're calling them. The Twitter, the Facebook, obviously Instagram's with Facebook, and there's just Google. There's just several people that have so much control over how we curate the conversation around our country. That's more scary to me. Do I have a solution? No, I don't. I don't have a solution. Not right now. But hey, stick around. Maybe one day we'll get to one. Blake, and who uses Facebook anyway? But again, we use Instagram. It's all the same. Blake Lively and Anna Kendrick's movie, A Simple Favor sequel, is going to open at South by Southwest. Now, there there was this conspiracy that Blake Lively was not going to promote the movie because of whatever reason. And Paul Feig, the director, said that's hogwash. It's in post-production, which means it takes a little bit of time to edit it. You got to fire composers and whatever. Now, Paul Feig directed Another Simple Favor for Amazon MGM Studios, which will be released to streaming on May 1st. Oh, my birthday! Another Simple Favor, the sequel to the 2018 thriller A Simple Favor, is set to open at the 2025 South by Southwest Film and TV Festival. Additionally, it was announced that the film will be available to stream on Amazon MGM's Prime on May 1st. The announcement and speculation about when the film would pop up amid star Blake Lively's ongoing legal battle. So there it is. There's the movie. It's coming out. Again, I think it was a big success. I actually think she was filming this in Italy when she was trying to edit or see the dailies for It Ends With Us, I guess. Either way, Baldoni wants a simple favor from her. Drop your lawsuit. That's what he would like. All right, so speaking of which, this is interesting. I want you to know this is a blind item, which means it could be 100% not true. I'm letting you know that, but it was shared. I thought it was interesting. I thought we'd get it on the timeline. Blind item, Trouble in Paradise. This in the news author is discussing filing a lawsuit against the A-list actress and her significant other. Apparently, promises were made but not kept. Is this true? Is Colleen Hoover threatening to sue Blake and Ryan? Again, it's a blind item, which means there's no vetting of it. We'll just put it out there and we'll see if any, more information comes to that side of the story. Now, this is something interesting. This crossed my news feed, a guy that I actually respect very much, who I worked with on a film called The Town. We worked on a film called The Town, which again stars Ben Affleck, but also starred Blake Lively. I don't have anything bad to say about Blake Lively from The Town. In fact, she was so good in character that some of the locals in the scene that we shot thought that she was a local girl from East Boston. As it turns out, she wasn't. But this is about Ryan Reynolds. Several people who worked on a Ryan Reynolds project. I'm from New England, so I know a lot of filmmakers from New England, and boy, do they love to talk. You get a little clam chowder in them, some whiskey, they're good to go. So this is from a driver, someone that was actually their job, it seems to be, was to drive Ryan Reynolds around. They said, I've witnessed this while he was in Boston many times. They were on my route for a month filming. He even yelled at fans of his. His wife was perfect for him. She's the perfect example of a mean girl. Both of them suck. And then this person continued on. He is extremely rude. Entitlement is too nice of a word. I was shocked myself. I felt bad for the fans that waited hours to just get a glimpse of him. And again, we don't know what goes on in someone's personal day. Maybe he's on set for 18 hours. Maybe he's rushed to go home to his family. No idea. But here's the comment that came in from a person that I know. I said, hey, do you work with him? What are your thoughts? This is the response that I got. Yes, I worked R.I.P.D., which is a movie that I filmed in Boston, with him for 4 months. Pretty much what Amy wrote. He had a rule that the crew couldn't look at or talk to him in passing while walking to and from set. He flipped out several times on crew members who had been allowed guests because the guests would glance at him. He gave me attitude only one time when I came out of my trailer one day and his dog came running over to me, and of course I leaned down and showered him with attention. His dog was always on set and I had met the dog multiple times, but his assistant was always with the dog. He said, hey, can you not do that? He gets really anxious around strangers. When I responded jokingly with, I'm not a stranger. Besides, look how happy this boy is. He doesn't seem stressed to me. He got so pissed, yelled at the dog, and stormed into his trailer. I got spoken to later by one of the producers who also hated Ryan's behavior, but had to warn me that I wanted to keep my job. I'd stay clear of him. Now, I recommend not going up to people's dogs, but if they run up to you, it's fair game, right? Either way, that I wanted to share that with you. It doesn't mean much. I'm not here to gossip. This is first-person information that I got. I'm not sharing 7-person stories, although I did share that blind item, but at least I warned you it was a blind item. All right, I got this new clip that just hit my desk, and I don't have enough time to break it all down for you on this podcast because we're late to press here as we have to get this thing uploaded. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share a clip of Amber Heard's lawyer commenting on this Justin Baldoni, Blake Lively mess because, of course, Amber Heard versus Johnny Depp was one of the biggest stories from a couple years ago. Well, now I guess Amber Heard's lawyer is speaking out in defense of Blake Lively. Have a listen to this.
Blake Lively has no motive to make allegations of sexual harassment public, just as Amber Heard never did against Johnny Depp. With her, what happened in this case in big picture is Blake Lively makes a private complaint of sexual harassment to Baldoni and the other individuals in the middle of the filming saying, let's get it right and let's be professional for the rest of this filming. What Baldoni does is he goes out and hires the same PR firm that Depp hired to eviscerate Amber.
Oh, okay. So this is actually an interesting defense that Amber Heard's lawyers making for Blake Lively, which was the same defense, thinking that everybody hated Amber Heard just like everybody hates Blake Lively because of a coordinated effort. And people online are arguing, no, we have our own evidence. We looked at it and we don't like them because they're snobby or whatever the case may be. Well, we don't have enough time to cover this sort of entire interview right now. Stick around for the next video and we'll get into it. So make sure you're subscribed because this is really interesting to talk about. We're just out of time right now. So again, that'll be up in a couple hours. So hang out for that. Get the alert bell ready for that. All right, let's take a quick break. When we come back, I'm going to discuss this Gaza situation. It's a real dark time for our country and really for the world for a lot of reasons. And I want to break this down as gently and as purposefully as possible. If you have no idea anything about the Gaza Strip or what I'm about to talk about, I'm no expert, but if you just stick around and give me a few minutes, I think I can help break it down. All right, we'll be back right after this. All right, again, I'm no expert and this is really complicated, but of course there's been a war that's broken out between Israel and the Gaza Strip, really, and there's been Israel's bombing of Hamas, the terrorist group that had a real horrific attack on Israel, on a bunch of innocent people, and now just tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people have died. Some are considering it a genocide of the Palestinians. And now Donald Trump says he wants the U.S. to take over the Gaza Strip. Why is this so important to discuss? Because it's like, as a country, we're focused on getting our grocery prices down and taking care of ours. And what about that whole like make America great? Is imperialism, is that making America great? People literally don't know what to do. Reporters are shouting at Trump. Have a listen.
Good evening. As we come on the air in the West tonight, we do have breaking news. President Trump late today suggesting Palestinians should leave Gaza, that they should get a fresh, beautiful piece of land someplace else. The president went on to say late this evening, with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu at his side, that the U.S. will take over the Gaza Strip and we will do a job with it, too, he said. We will own it. The U.S. will be responsible for dismantling the dangerous unexploded bombs, level the site, and create economic development. Just can't go back, the president said.
Here's what Trump had to say.
The U.S. will take over the Gaza Strip, and we will do a job with it, too. We'll own it and be responsible for dismantling all of the dangerous unexploded bombs and other weapons on the site, level the site and get rid of the destroyed buildings, level it out, create an economic development that will supply unlimited numbers of jobs and housing for the people of the area. Do a real job. The U.S.
So then people rightfully have a lot of questions, right? They want to know, what are you talking about? Ducey says, would Palestinians have the right to return to Gaza? Here's an honest question.
Would Palestinians have the right to return to Gaza if they left while the rebuilding was happening?
It would be my hope that we could do something really nice, really good, where they wouldn't want to return. Why would they want to return? The place has been hell. It's been one of the meanest, tough.
And how about that? A reporter in the background yells, because it's their homes, sir.
Places on earth. And right now, I've seen every picture from every angle.
People have made this comparison. It's almost like Trump is an arsonist, and then he gives you a way to stop, to put out the fire. Now, obviously, he didn't start this war. He's only been president for a few weeks now. Joe Biden was kind of complicit in siding with, Israel when a lot of people are saying they just went too far. They went too far. Now, those that are pro-Israel say, well, the Hamas terrorist groups were hiding their weapons in shelters, in schools, and hospitals. I mean, it's just an absolute bloodbath out there. There's women, children, innocent babies. I mean, all, so much death and carnage. And this idea that we're going to move people out of that area is essentially ethnic cleansing. Here's where Donald Trump says Gaza could be the Riviera of the Middle East.
I envision the world, people living there, the world's people. I think you'll make that into an international, unbelievable place. I think the potential in the Gaza Strip is unbelievable. And I think the entire world, representatives from all over the world will be there, and they'll live there. Palestinians also. Palestinians will live there. Many people will live there.
So now he says Palestinians will live there. So forgive me if I don't have all of the information, because all of this came out at the same time. He did all these different press interviews, and this is a big deal, and I'll tell you guys why. The rest of the world is watching. And they're wondering what the heck is going on. Now, yesterday we had Trump saying that we were going to take American citizens that are prisoners and send them to an El Salvadorian prison complex. What? No, that's a bad precedent, right? So then what constitutes an evil or a very bad prisoner? Like someone who hits someone with a baseball bat? Well, how about someone who's a political protester? Are we going to send them? Like, it's a very big slippery slope. And then today we find out we're going to now buy Gaza, and people have already speculated how much money the Jared Kushner's company and his investments with different builders will be making off of things like this. Just because you built some buildings here in the United States doesn't give you the permission to bulldoze Gaza, regardless of if it's been left to rubble. That's not the innocent Palestinians' fault. They should be able to decide what they want to do with their land.
But they've tried the other, and they've tried it for decades and decades and decades. It's not going to work. It didn't work. It will never work. And you have to learn from history. History has... just can't let it keep repeating itself. We have an opportunity to do something that could be phenomenal. And I don't want to be cute. I don't want to be a wise guy, but the Riviera of the Middle East, this could be something that could be so bad. This could be so magnificent. But more importantly than that is the people that have been absolutely destroyed that live there now can live in peace in a much better situation, because they're living in hell.
It is hell, but it's not of the people's causing. It's of terrorist groups. There's a whole lot of reasons why it's hell. Now, please give me some grace for not understanding the literal century worth of, violence. I'm not unraveling all of that right now. I'm not saying one side of innocent people is better or worse than another side of innocent people. I'm just saying this ain't the solution. Here's more political punditry covering this insane story.
Palestinian people want their own land. They don't want to be moved all over the place to different parts of the Middle East. And none of the Middle East countries have expressed any interest in having any Palestinians in, much less large groups of them.
Right. It's a place that 2 million people call home. And secondarily, I think we have to look at Trump's motives. As always, when Trump proposes a policy item, there is a nepotistic, self-serving connection. He and Jared Kushner and probably the House of Saud all view the Gaza Strip as developable property. They want to turn this thing into resorts, okay? It's beach property on the ocean. That is how they are coming at this. They are not coming at this from the perspective of how do we have opportunity, dignity, and reconstruction for the Palestinian people that's consistent with Israel's security. And that's the statesmanship that we need right now. They are avoiding the truly hard question, which is not where. The where is the Gaza Strip. It is who. Who is governing after Hamas. And that is where we need some outside-the-box thinking. I totally grant that, Elizabeth. I mean, goodness knows nobody has a monopoly on good ideas for how to govern Gaza. But that's where they should focus their creativity, not on, how do we give Jared Kushner a good real estate deal.
And putting in palm trees, I guess that's what they want to do if it's going to be the Riviera. Here's another reporter asking the tough questions.
Talking tonight about the United States taking over a sovereign territory. What authority would allow you to do that? Are you talking about a permanent occupation there? Redevelopment? And Mr. Prime Minister, do you see this idea as a way to expand the boundaries of Israel and to have a longer peace, even though the Israeli people know how important that land is to you and your citizens, just as the space is inherited by the Palestinians as well?
I do see a long-term ownership position, and I see it bringing great stability to that part of the Middle East and maybe the entire Middle East. And everybody I've spoken to, this was not a decision made lightly. Everybody I've spoken to loves the idea of the United States owning that piece of land, developing and creating thousands of jobs with something that will be magnificent in a really magnificent area that nobody would know. Nobody can look because all they see is death and destruction and rubble and demolished buildings falling all over. It's just a terrible sight. I've studied it. I've studied this very closely over a lot of months, and I've seen it from every different angle, and it's a very, very dangerous place to be.
Now, look, I like to follow news organizations that cover things and have a different political sort of ideology that I do. And even those that I'm following, the comment section are just people saying, we want lower gas prices. We want inflation to go away. We want to be able to buy a home. What the mother F is this? So again, I don't know anybody who can rationally see this as a good idea. And again, will it actually get done? I'm really not sure, but let's play one more. Let's play this final clip here. This is Caitlin Collins asking a question.
What you were saying about the Gazans leaving Gaza and going to other countries. One, where exactly are you suggesting that they should go? And two, are you saying they should return after it's rebuilt? And if not, who do you envision living there?
I envision a world, people living there, the world's people. I think you'll make that into an international, unbelievable place. I think
he wants the world's people living there. I feel like he wants an Epcot Center. I think that's what he's looking for. Listen, my heart goes out. My heart goes out to the innocent lives that have been lost, that have been displaced. I've had people ask me to cover this more, and I felt so helpless. I still do feel so helpless. We actually have audience for the Rush Hour podcast that have listened to us from the Gaza Strip. And if you're out there, our hearts bleed not having solutions for you and your family, and the despair and the lack of medical help and the lack of food and water and electricity. And I don't have the solutions, but bulldozing it so that they can build the Riviera, I don't think that's it. And sadly, I think one of the big problems with situations like this is it gets so heated that you'll have real hardcore people on different sides call you different names, from, anti-Semitic to, anti-whatever. And the truth is I think most people just aren't educated on what's going on there, including myself. But, we're going to have to cover this because as a citizen here in the United States, I don't think it's a good idea to start, deciding which of these countries we should, absorb into ours. I think we need to take care of our own streets right now and help the people that we have right now. So again, with all that said, here's the response from Justin Trudeau. We laugh because we can't cry. Justin Trudeau revealing his details of Trump's 51st state threat. And I guess he doesn't think Canada is going to become a state anytime soon.
Assuming he didn't bring up his intention to publicly say he was going to annex through economic means your country.
It actually sort of came up at one point, and then we started musing back and forth about this. And when I started to suggest, well, maybe there could be a trade for Vermont or California for certain parts, he immediately decided that it was not that funny anymore, and we moved on to a different conversation. So this isn't out of the blue that he's doing this, but my focus has to be not on something that he's talking about that will not ever happen, but more on something that might well happen, that if he does choose to go forward with tariffs that raise the cost of just about everything for American citizens, that on top of that, we're going to have a robust response to that.
You know what's interesting about Canada is, like, we think of our friends of the North, and I don't think people fully realize how big Canada is with their natural resources, their energy, and also their will to fight. There's no world in which they become the 51st state. All right, but sadly, and by the way, Canadians had a right to boo the American anthem in protest of the tariffs that they never asked for. Now we've got a Nashvilleian here, is that the right way to put it, being booed for singing the Canadian national anthem.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land.
Now, I think only a few people were booing, but again, it's not like, listen, as Americans, we don't need to retaliate with boos. We need to retaliate by sticking up for, the core values that are supposed to be the fabric that weaves us together as a country, not booing Canada because they stuck up for themselves. We should have respect for them for sticking up for themselves here. And we should. So again, I'm at a loss of words. This is one of those, try not to read the comment section, Dave, because I don't know what side everyone's going to be on, but you listen and you watch my channel because you at least respect my opinion and know that it's coming from me and not from some, I don't know, donor or lobbyist or whatever. This is from me. We're in a dire situation right now. It's a dark day in our country. And I think at the very least, we need to call out the BS where we see it and know that we're not going to be complacent and complicit. Let's not be either of those. All right. I'm going to have some more content coming to you today, and hopefully the afternoon rush is a little more lighthearted, but there was just a lot to get into. I hope you guys understand. I try to give a wide array of content, but today, Gaza ruled the story, and hopefully we have better news coming up after that. All right, that's it for me. We'll see you this afternoon. I'm Dave Neal. This is The Rush.